Okay. And guys, you can find the PowerPoints online too. Okay. So if you need anything from the PowerPoints, it's always online. All right, let's get started. We're gonna talk about the first two chapters today. So chapter 1 and chapter 2. So every week, every Tuesday when we do this, will always be 2 chapters. So this week's first and 2, and the next week is 3 and 4. For this week, the homework is already online, so all you gotta do is do the quizzes. So when you go to the details of your quizzes, every quiz you have 3 tries. So and then also when you do the quiz, at the very end of the quiz, once you finish, actually shows you the right answers with all the questions on it. So if you redo the quiz, then sometimes you can see the same question again. Okay, so always do more tries. And also when you work on the quiz, I'm not next to you. So if you guess what? I want to know. Okay. If you open your notes, guess what? I want to know. If you go to a website called Quiz, I wouldn't know either. No, doesn't mean I don't care.
Okay, I have a tip for that. There's this thing that freezes your computer. You could only do test mode, but I forgot the name.
Respondents?
I don't remember. I did it for my EMT. So.
Okay, yeah, it's not required for our class. Don't worry.
Okay.
I've usually got multiple computers.
Yeah. That's fine. Or just 2 different screens.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be easy enough.
Yeah. No, guys, doesn't mean I don't care. It means I don't care. Okay. But here's the thing. So on your quiz, the quiz coming from the published test question text. So that's why you can find the answers on Quizlet. But on the test, all the test questions are original questions. So you cannot find them anywhere. So this is what you gotta do. Okay? When you work on the quiz, if you just cannot get the answer right, go on Quizlet and get the answer right. Okay? But you want to know how to get the answer. But the process, that's the important part. Because on the test, you won't find the answers on the Quizlet. You gotta find them on yourself now. Okay? So always ask questions. And remember, guys, I'm always here to help. And if you go out to our syllabus, on syllabus, it has my contact information. So my email on there. So if you send me email, my email is on my phone. So if you send email to me, I get it right away. Okay. Or there's also something called Google Plus. You guys use Google Plus before?
No.
You guys ever heard it before? No. So Google Plus is like Facebook on steroid. So everything Facebook does, Google Plus does more and better. Okay. And the best feature on Google Plus is there is an app in Google Plus. It's called Hangout. So for Hangout, you can download that on your phone. And also use it on the computer. So for Google Hangout, it's like a messenger service. I have it on my phone. So if you send me a message on Google Hangout, I'll get it right away. And I usually respond very fast in Google Hangout. And I also can do a FaceTime video chat. So if anytime you have a homework, you have a quiz question, you just cannot get it right, contact me, and I'm going to go over the questions on Google Video Chat. And on the video chat, I also do screen share. I can show you what's on my computer. I can show you how to solve the problem. Make sense? Yeah. So always do that for me. Okay. Yes.
Well, for example, in the chapter 3, you made only one example, and in the test we made different examples.
Yeah.
Can you recommend some page where we can practice that exercise?
So when you go to our D2L page, I'm sure. So guys, here's the thing. Let's talk about the book first. Who has the book already? Does anybody else have a book?
Mm-mm.
This is easier. This is all the end.
Oh.
That's cool. The older one? Okay, that's fine. So guys, let me stand over here so everybody can see me. So we have 2 books here, right? This is the one you buy from the bookstore. It's the Macroeconomics 8th edition, and the author is Gregory Mankiw. How much did you pay for it? 140. Okay. When they have also here another one is the same title, Microeconomics, same author, Gregory Mankiw, but this is only a 7th edition. How much did you pay for it? 22. So it's pretty cheap, right? Anybody else have an older book that's a 7th edition?
I think I did the same thing you did.
Same thing?
Amazon rental, but it comes in tomorrow.
Okay, guys. Here's the thing. So for the textbook, what you need, you don't need the book. You need a book. Okay. So any textbook that's called Principle of Macroeconomics by Gregory Mankiw, that's a good book. So the 7th is good, the 5th is good, the 6th is good, even the 4th edition is good. So if you want to, once you go home, go to I want to do it before everybody else online does. Okay. So once you go home, go to halfpricebook.com. They have 4th edition only for $7.
I got the fifth one for 11 bucks.
Oh, that's too expensive.
It
Okay.
is. With taxes and shipment.
Okay, that's part of the same. Yeah, because for the 4th edition, it will cost you $6 for the book and then $4 for shipping, so total $10.
Yeah.
So you can buy a book cheaper. Now, however, if you have this book does come with some very good benefit. The best benefit is this little thing on the back. So you're gonna you can use this if you want. So let me show you what it looks like online. Okay. Make you back to the right person. It's a expensive book. So let me show you what it looks like online. Okay. So for our textbook, the new one, the current one, it comes with an online component. And then the link is already provided for you on D2L. So if you want to, you can access the online component. And then on the online component, they have exercises, they have the ebook you can use. All right, so once you go to content, you see over here you have a syllabus, and then you have this link over here. Well, it's called Fall 2007 Hurricane. Okay, so this link is the online component. So click on here. It will open the online page for you. It's blocked. Come on. Yeah. Let me see if I can unblock it. Let me reload this. Yeah, guys, so when you work on this at home, make sure it's unblocked, okay, so you can access it. All right, so this is the online component. Guys, give me a second. The computer is now really. I lost my internet connection. Okay, I just broke it. Hey, did you guys hear what happened to the school?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I think I lost my internet on this computer. Let me try one more time. So at our campus, great. Let me call somebody here. Okay, please.
Thank you very much.
Actually, I'm going to pass over again. The computer just lost internet connection. Ladies and gentlemen, academic green 130, depending on carries. 950 0386. Okay, thank you. All right, guys, somebody's coming over. Now, so if you haven't heard what happened in school, the next door to the Kingwood campus, there is a water treatment plant. So during Hurricane Harvey, the water treatment plant lost power. So all the water was backed up, all the sewage was backed up. So the sewage was actually floating into the school. Yeah, and then on the first floor, so in your CLA building, CLB, library, the gym, and also the HSA building, the water was about this tall. So it was also sewage on it. So yeah, the water was inside the school for 3 days before it receded. So the sewage was in that school for 3 days. So apparently the sewage actually got into the wall, tear down everything on the first floor to fix the school. And then also what made it even worse because the school lost power now, ever since Hurricane Harvey for a month now. You see how hot it's outside, right? With no power, with no AC, it's very hot inside the building. Imagine all the sewage on the first floor, and now the second floor is damaged too. Okay, so they're gonna fix everything before we return to campus, and the estimate is we'll be able to return by next fall. So we'll be all for the entire year. Yeah, so get used to this. Okay, all right. So let them fix it. So for our, does anybody have any question for the class for me? Ask me.
Do we email you through Google Hangout?
My regular school email is fine.
Okay.
Yeah, but the Google Message, the handout, that works good too. It is on my phone, so I get it right away. Yes.
Was there anything due yesterday for this class?
No.
Okay.
The first,
I think I'm confusing with another class.
yeah. So all the due date is on Sunday. Okay, so Sunday night, 11:59 p.m. I'm hoping it's Central Time. Yes. just in case, do it early. Do it early. So whatever plans you have for the weekend, just cancel them. Okay? So all the homework, or all the quizzes, all the discussions, they're due on Sunday night. Now for discussions, guys, remember for discussions, for your posting, the minimum is 300 words. Once you finish, reply to somebody else as well, you get 100%. Okay. Otherwise, you're giving it preparatory. So your posting must be 300 words, and also reply to your classmates' post as well. Yes.
Do you have to reply for 300 words for you?
No.
Oh, I was about to say, okay,
For the
okay.
posting, just doesn't have to be very long. Just short and easy. Okay.
You're cool.
Yeah, short and cool. Or hi. Any questions? Any other questions? Yes. You don't have, so for the first discussion posting about yourself, you know what? You know who you are, right? And you know yourself best. So you know everything about you. So it's 300 words, okay? No less. Yeah? All right,
Maybe 259?
No. Anything else? Any other questions? No? All right, so before they come in fix computer, let's start the lecture first. Let's do chapter 1. So chapter 1, we're gonna talk about what is economics. Now, for every society, for every resource we have, there is something called a scarcity. Scarcity means we don't have enough of them. Now let's suppose that's not the case. Suppose President Trump says, so President Trump, the guy with orange hair, he says that if you vote for him again and he's reelected, he will give everybody in America a brand new house. 4-bedroom, 2-car garage, detached, big front yard, big backyard. So if he's reelected, everybody in America gets a free house.
That is
Would you do it?
ridiculous.
Would you do it?
Oh, he would get elected.
So would you do it? Would you do it because of that?
No,
Why not? It's a free house. It's a free house.
I don't know. I feel like it's the same as controlled government. Like,
But you don't want a free house?
no, because we're gonna be controlled basically.
But you
by-
get a free house.
I don't care.
Or you want to
I prefer to be
You got it, a
happy.
vacation home.
Well,
you wouldn't count on.
You wouldn't have to vote for him. He'd get elected, you get a free house either way, so.
So you don't want a free house? All right, guys, here's the problem.
We're not leaving the house. though.
Yeah, I mean, you get it's a vacation home. Hey, maybe somewhere in Congo or in a lowland area.
Just to get flooded.
Yeah. So guys, here's the thing. Does our economy have enough resource to produce 350 million houses in 4 years?
No.
We don't, right? We don't have enough lumbers. We don't have enough bricks. We don't have enough labor to produce that many houses in 4 years. So the key for any society, especially for our society, is that our resource is scarce. That we don't have enough resource. So the study of economy is study of how different societies dealing with our scarce resource. So we have limited resource and we have unlimited desire. We always want more stuff. So how do we use our limited resource to satisfy our unlimited desire? That's the study of economics. Make sense? By the way, is there any resource that's not scarce that we have abundance of? Water, like Harvey, right? We have a lot of water.
People.
Right? People. What else? But by the way, water is not scarce over here. But if you guys go to California, it is scarce over there, right? Because last year I was there, a couple years ago when I was there, I was at a restaurant in San Diego. They wouldn't even serve water to me unless I asked for it, because they have a scarcity of water over there, so they limited supply of waters over there. So, but anything else? Labor, people, right? We have all of it. What else? Are you forgetting something? Air, right? Do we have an abundance of air? Yeah, right. It's always here. Now, do we have enough clean air?
No.
Clean air is scarce, especially now Houston. Houston, we have one of the worst air quality in the country. But if you compare to LA, we're not that bad. The reason why, because our location is very flat. So whatever pollution we have is all dispersed to other areas. Now, LA on the other side, it's surrounded by mountains, so like a bowl. So whatever dirty air they have is all trapped in the bowl. So if you ever have a chance to go to LA, there's a museum called Getty Museum. That's actually on top of the mountain. Go to Getty Museum, you can oversee the entire city underneath you. You can see the city, all the buildings. You can also see the smoke that's hovering around the city. And above that is clear sky. Okay, so their air is much worse. So we have abundance of air, but we don't have enough clean air. So clean air scarcity. Make sense? So for most of the people we have in the economy, they're all scarce. Right? So economics is the study of how society manage our scarce resource. That's called economics. And that depends on different society. Different society manage scarce resource differently. So for our society, we call ourselves the market economy. That's all heard from before, right? Market economy. What that means between the buyers and sellers come together, we interact, and to decide how do we share this scarce resource. Now, on the other side, you have economy like Cuba or Myanmar or the old Soviet Russia, or a very nice country right now called North Korea. So those countries, they have something called a centrally planned economy. So it's the government decide all questions. So government decide what to produce, government decide how to produce them, and then government decide who gets the good. So all the questions are answered by the government. That's called centrally planned economy. Make sense? All right, so we're going to study the 10 principles of economics. The first principle is that all decisions involve trade-off. So whatever you do, there's a trade-off for it. So I'm not saying it's free. Okay? But you know what? I suppose there is free. You guys know there is so on 45, so just down the street on 45, there is a big Chinese buffet called China Bear.
Yes.
You guys seen that before?
Yes.
Yeah, it's not bad, right? It's edible. What is, you don't like it?
Oh, I didn't say that.
No, shaking her head. All right, remember this. What doesn't kill you make you stronger.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let's suppose this. Suppose after class, I will treat everybody to China Bear. I'll pay for it. So if you come to lunch with me, do you have any cost?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Like what? Time. What else?
Yes, money.
Transportation, gas. I drive. I have a big Subaru. Can fit everybody in the Subaru.
I'll also have opportunity to do anything else.
You have no plan whatsoever. Very good. Opportunity, right? So let's see what is opportunity. So we have something called an opportunity cost. So opportunity cost is what you must give up. Try to do the trick again. Yeah. Try to go to this well. What are you cooking?
Hey guys, in this video,
Okay,
what
that's
is that?
you.
Oh, that's me. Yeah.
Okay, so that's not repeating the website. The website. That's good. So actually, that makes me feel happy now because I'm not on. No, because. Yeah, I was looking at these now, and all of a sudden just stopped working. Ooh. This is what I'm doing. Yeah. Okay, so let me check on that. Okay, so you need to get to each one? Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, that's okay. It's just down. With the Wi-Fi speakers. Yeah, the Wi-Fi is on the main site seems to be oh, okay, so just is there anything you need to say on there? Think that it's the smart thing on us, all right, guys, let me show you the ebook. Let me show you how to access all the practice materials online. Okay. So again, if you bought your textbook from the bookstore, you have access to this, or you can buy the access directly online. If you buy online, it's cheaper. Okay. But if you buy online, you don't have a physical book. You don't have an ebook. So to access online materials, go to content, and then under class information, you have the second link over here. So click on the second link. That will take you to our online class.
Is this for an online class, but like this is the meeting?
Economics? Yeah. All right, so once you go to the online material, so let's say for chapter 1, so click on the first one, introduction. And then we go to chapter 1, the 10 principles of economics. Now you have different page here. So the second one, this here is your ebook. So if you have ebook, open the ebook. There is a function here that can actually read the book to you. So you can open this website and then click on the little reader function. Just do whatever you want and you can listen to the textbook. Okay. So let me show you what that is. So once you open the book, see the little icon here with a person pad and the mouse open. So click on here, and then the book will be ready to you. Okay.
How people make decisions. There is no mystery to
it sounds pretty bad, but at least it's ready. Okay. So that's the textbook. And then for practice, go to homework. So you have 2 homework here, but again, this is not a homework. Even though it says counted for a grade, it's not counted for a grade. Okay. So click on it. You have a little exercise on it. You can do it and then answer questions. And then if you get it right, it will tell you this right. If it's wrong, and let me show. So let's suppose you speak this one. That's the right answer. Okay. So what you'll do once you finish every question, do not click on save and continue. Click on graded now. Because if you do save and continue, you only have 1 try. But if you do graded now, you have 3 tries. So do graded now, and then tell you the question's wrong, and I'll tell you why the question's wrong, or why the answer is wrong, okay? So once you finish, you can try another version, and try it again. Make sense? Yeah. So again, this is all optional, you don't have to, but if you purchase the book online or purchase the book from the bookstore, you have access to this. Yes?
So there's never going to be anything on here that's due?
No, nothing on here is due or counted to grade, okay? But it's all for your practice. Make sense? Yeah? All right. Let's continue our lecture. All right, so what is opportunity cost? So for everything you do, that there is opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is the opportunity you must give up to do something else. That's called opportunity cost. So when you go to lunch with me tomorrow, even though I pay for it and I drive, but if you come to lunch with me tomorrow, you cannot go to work anymore. You cannot go to your other class anymore. you cannot study anymore. You guys never study anymore. So all those opportunities you gave up to come to lunch with me, that's an opportunity cost. So that's why that there is never a free lunch. That for everything you do, there's always opportunity cost. I mean, even for you guys being here now, do you have any opportunity cost? Yeah, right. Cannot watch videos on YouTube anymore, or you still can on your computer. Cannot play game anymore. Cannot go to lunch with your friends anymore. So all the other things you give up, that is your opportunity cost. So for everything you do, you have opportunity cost. Make sense? All right, so that's number 2. And number 3, the people always think on the margin. For everything you do, we use something called a marginal analysis. So you compare what is your marginal benefit and then what is your marginal cost. If your marginal benefit is more, then you engage in this activity. But if your marginal cost is more, you don't do it anymore. Okay? So let's suppose, well, let me ask you something here. Anybody here has a PS4 in the house? PS4, okay. PS3, Xbox One, Xbox 360, okay. Wii. All right. Now, does anybody here have 2 of the same console in the house? So you have 2 PS4, 2 Xbox. Yeah, what is it?
Xbox One and Xbox 360.
But not 2 Xbox One, right? But a different.
Yeah, 2 Xbox Ones and 2 Xbox 360.
Whoa, all for yourself?
No, I have a little brother.
Okay, so 1 for you, 1 for him, right?
Yeah.
What about you? What do you have?
One for me and one for my sport.
Okay, what about you?
I've got a couple of PS3s, one of them really work.
Okay, so one's not working, one's working, right? Okay. But wait, what's her name?
Aaron.
Aaron, doesn't twins share stuff?
No.
Alright, never mind. So how come we don't have 2 of the same console for ourselves? But do we need 2 of the same consoles? Do you see anybody play 2 consoles at the same time? No, right? So the reason why this is where the marginal cost, marginal benefit comes in. So you're gonna compare. So for let's say for PS4, how much PS4? 300 maybe? 300, it's about 300 right now. And that's also coming in the bundle, right? Got like a game or 2 in the bundle. I play games, I know that. Yeah, if you ever play PS4, I'm not telling you, I'm telling you, my wrong. So the same with PS4, each one costs you 300. Right? So for your first PS4, you're thinking like this. I don't have any PS4 right now. If I buy the PS4, I can play game on it. I can watch movie on it, right? There's a lot of benefit from the first PS4. And then the cost is only 300. So what do? You buy the first PS4. Now, for the second PS4, you already have a PS4. So this second PS4 doesn't give you that much benefit. It's nice to have as a backup, but they don't get much benefit out of it. Now, how much will it cost you? Still 300. So marginal cost is higher now. You don't buy the second PS4 anymore. That's why when you buy stuff, you also compare the marginal benefit, marginal cost. Marginal benefit is more, you buy it. Marginal cost is more, you don't buy it anymore. Make sense? All right, let's talk about something that girls understand. Okay. What is that? I don't know. So what is in it? Caramel macchiato, okay. Do you like it?
Yes.
How much do you pay for it? Very exact, okay. So let's imagine you go to Starbucks, okay? And then Starbucks says, currently, we'll have a promotion. 10 caramel macchiato in 30 minutes, your 11th will be free. You do it? Well, let's go through this singing process, okay? So you're very thirsty. You go to Starbucks, you want to buy this caramel macchiato. It costs you $5.65, right? So your marginal benefit is very high, and marginal cost is only $5.65. What do? You buy the first caramel macchiato. And then once you have the first caramel macchiato, for the second one, now you like your caramel macchiato, but you're not thirsty anymore. So for the second one, your marginal benefit, this extra benefit you have, is a little lower now. But now, it might still be more than the marginal cost, so you buy the second caramel macchiato. Now, for the third one, would that be a higher marginal benefit or lower marginal benefit? It will be lower marginal benefit, right? That means eventually, maybe once you get to your fifth or your sixth caramel macchiato, your marginal benefit is so low, your marginal cost is higher now. So what do? You stop at the 5 or 6 caramel macchiato. So you always compare what's your marginal benefit and what's your marginal cost. If the marginal benefit is more, then you buy the good. the marginal cost is more, you don't buy this good anymore. Okay, and then this concept of a decreasing marginal cost is called a diminishing marginal return. That means for everything you have, the same thing you have, the more you have it, the less actual benefit you have from each additional consumption. Okay, so diminishing marginal benefit means that for every good you buy, that for the same good you buy, the more you have it, the lower the actual benefit you have from each additional consumption. That's a diminishing marginal return. Is there anything that have an increasing marginal return? That the more you have it, the even more happy you become?
The food.
The food? I mean, you're gonna stop at a point, right?
Not all people.
Okay, you know what's my favorite show? My new favorite show is called My 600 Pound Life.
Oh.
TLC. You know, really, the thing that those people go through is amazing. I mean, their courage, their dedication to losing weight is really something. Yes.
Did you see the last one where you were like,
Don't tell me. Yeah.
Sound spoilers.
So guys, here's the thing. Anytime you have addictions have an increasing marginal benefit. The more you consume, the even more benefit you get from additional consumptions. So that's why for people with addictions, it's very hard to quit. Because the more they have, the even more happy they become. Okay. All right. So, but most good we have is a diminishing marginal benefit. The more you buy, the more you have, the lower the benefit you have from each consumption. Okay. Make sense? Yeah. All right. And then next, people always respond to incentive. You guys do the same thing. So now I offer everybody here 3 points every week. Would you keep coming?
Yes.
That's incentive, right? And then anybody here shop on Black Fridays?
No.
Who does Black Fridays? Okay. Yeah, very good. Yeah, well, guys, I used to shop on Black Fridays. Definitely when I was younger, like your age, have nothing to do on holidays. I go shop on Black Fridays. I don't anymore because the crowd is too crazy. But why do we do it? Because the price is lower, right? So why do we do it? Because of the incentive. The companies, stores offer lower prices. That's the incentive. We respond to it. We buy more stuff. So consumers, business, students, we all respond to incentive. Make sense? All right. Let's skip this one. All right. And the next, trade can make everybody better. We can all benefit from trade. Now, on the bigger scale, also on the smaller scale. So let's talk about smaller scale for now. So why can you benefit from trade? Can anybody here be self-sufficient? Do you guys know what is self-sufficient?
No, entirely.
Okay, so that means what? That means you produce everything for yourself. So whatever you need, you can get for yourself. Right? So yeah, guys, try this. If you want to be self-sufficient, don't try to kill a chicken. Anybody here kill chicken before?
Yes.
Yeah? How to kill chicken?
Cut the neck off.
I'll cut the head off. And then really, guys, if you never killed a chicken before, once you cut the head off, the chicken can still run.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys, if you watch Family Guy, the coolie guy, oh yeah. Now, so if you want to be self-sufficient, you can kill your own chicken. Now that might be easier to do. Okay. If you have anybody ever tried to make a T-shirt from scratch? From scratch, from the silk or the cotton?
Oh no.
No, right? Why? We don't know how to do it. Anybody here know how to make a toaster? No, right?
I've seen it on that video.
Yeah, there's a guy trying to make a toaster by himself, 2.5 years to finish. Okay, so it's not that easy. So we cannot be self-sufficient. That's why we trade. Trade can make everybody better off. You do what you're good at, they do what they're good at, and then you trade your product. So that's individually. But for a country, then every country can also benefit from trading. Yeah? You guys believe me? No, if you ask President Trump, he'll say otherwise. Okay. Let me tell you what. So, guys, for the clothing you wear today, is there anything you wear that's made in America?
I think my shoes might be. They're New Balance.
Not
They
all-
have factories.
they have,
factories.
but not all New Balance made in America.
Made in Vietnam.
Yeah. So, but you make a good point, guys. For all the sneakers we have, for all the shoes we have, New Balance have a factory in America. The reason why they have that in America because that factory is only supplying to our U.S. military. But for the U.S. military, by law, everything they use must be made in America. So that's why that line New Balance is made in America. But for every other New Balance is made in other countries. Now, if you look at our country 40 years ago, so back in the 1970s, in 1970s, this country, we had the biggest textile industries. We produce the most shirt, we produce the most shoes, we produce the most jeans. Now, we don't do that anymore. We let other countries produce them for us.
It's cheaper.
Because cheaper labor, right? So for any production that involve cheap labor or low-skilled labor, we let other countries do it for us, and then we buy it from them at a lower price. You are benefiting from that. Do this for me. So when you go home, go to your closet, see how much stuff you have in your closet. Okay? I promise you that your closet is bigger than your parents' closet when they were at your age. Because now clothing are cheaper for us because other countries produce them for us. There is a store called H&M.
Oh, yeah.
You guys shop at it? Okay. What about Forever 21?
Yeah.
Yeah? Who shops at Forever 21?
Sometimes the quality.
Yeah, I buy from there too. I'm young at heart, okay? So, now, are they pretty expensive?
No.
They're not expensive, right? They're pretty cheap. The reason why they're cheap, look at the back of the label, it says many other countries. Now, guys, if you want to study, you want to see why they're so cheap, when you go home, go on to YouTube and then search for Made in Bangladesh. There's a 45-minute documentary. It shows you why all the clothes are so cheap in those stores, okay? It's not for good reason, okay? All right. So trade can make everybody better off. We're going to study that more in chapter 3. And then next, market is usually a good organization of buyers and sellers to organize our economic activities. So here's the thing with market. Market is just when your buyers and sellers come together. That's called a market. So your stores like Walmart, that's a market. Your store like H-E-B, that's a market. And then the online website like Amazon, that's a market. And then eBay is a perfect market. But on this one website, all the buyers and sellers come together, we call it a market. And then for the market, they will try to answer 4 questions. And these 4 questions are, what to produce, how to produce them, how much do we produce, and then who do we give it to when it's produced. Okay, so let me ask a question here. Okay. Who want a free car? Free brand new car? Let me see hand. Like this car is free for a brand new, do you want it?
I would take a car.
Yeah, free car. Let's see hand. Hands up, who want a free car? Free car, keep your hands up.
Free car.
Free car, free car.
We have to give it exchange.
Nothing, free car.
Are you sure it's free?
Free, it's free car. Let's see who wants
I don't think it's
You put your
free.
hand up.
Now, guys, for this car, there are some strings attached. There's always a catch.
Yeah.
There's always a catch. Now, this is the catch. Once you get a free car, you cannot sell the car. You must keep it. You cannot modify the car,
You have
okay?
to have a logo.
And then you have to drive it anywhere you go. So it got to be your primary vehicle, but it's free. You still want it?
Yeah.
So who still want the car? Let's see. Free car, brand new free car.
What's
All right.
what's the tax situation on that? Are we gonna have to pay?
I'll pay for it. Taxes paid for.
Okay.
No tax.
I'll take
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Let's say one. All right, keep your hands up, okay? So this car, keep your hands up. This car is a Volkswagen. Do you still want it? Free Volkswagen, VW? Yeah.
That's
Do they
fine.
do all the repairs?
Turbo?
You cannot change anything.
No, but if my car breaks down.
Is it a 2.5?
Yeah, that's a big question.
If it breaks down, we'll give you a new one. Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. No. It's a VW. It's a VW. It's a Beetle. Do you still want a Beetle?
No.
It's a pink Beetle.
No.
How long do I have to have this? Oh, pink.
Pink. The pink.
I can't
Okay.
think.
You cannot show me anything. It's a pink Beetle. Yes, you want it. It also have those eyelashes on the hood. It has a tail in the back, and it also has those flowers pinned on the driver's side window.
A piggy.
I think I'm getting ironic.
Okay, all right.
This car.
All right, guys, hear this. If you go to the Volkswagen dealership, would you find this brand new car on the lot?
No.
They don't have it, right? Any idea why they don't have it? But you can modify it. But why don't they modify for us?
Nobody
Because
would
they
buy it.
advertising.
Because nobody wanted it, right? Nobody wanted it. So in the market economy, for our economy, the buyers what we want to buy, and the companies what we want to produce together, we answer these 4 questions over here. So we decide together what to produce, how to produce them, and then who do we give it to. Now remember we talked about this centrally planned economy. So country like Soviet Russia, the old Russia, Cuba, Myanmar, North Korea, in those economies, the government decide what kind of car to produce, how they produce the car, how many do they produce, and once it's produced, who do they give it to? Okay, so different economies answer these questions differently. Makes sense? By the way, don't believe what you heard on the news. Okay? North Korea is actually a very nice country. No, really. This is the reason why. So in America, we have rich people, we have poor people, a huge income gap, right? In North Korea, they don't have an income gap. Everybody's poor, right? Okay? Everybody's poor. So this not really, guys. This is why this is good. Okay, so the concept of rich or poor is all relative. It's all relative. Because think like this: imagine you're in a village, okay, and then you're in a village, and then you're the only family in the village who own a chicken. You feel rich now?
Yes.
Sure, right? So this richness is not about what you have. It's about what everybody else doesn't have. So you have a chicken, they don't have a chicken, you feel rich, right? So in North Korea, if you survey all the country in the world, survey all the people in the world, which country do you think the best country? People in North Korea, they think they're the best country in the world. Yeah, they don't know any better. So in North Korea, they don't have internet.
Oh, they're limited to everything, and
They
then
have-
they catch channels and
It's called intranet. So all the computers in North Korea, they connect together within the computer, or within the country. So who control the information? Government control the information. So government telling every citizen says, hey, people in North Korea, you're in the best country in the world, and believe us, believe us. So, and then by the way, anybody here own a dog? Like have a dog at all? What kind of dog?
I have a last two that I have a lab.
Oh, cool. How big is the lab?
Amazing. Yeah, they're good.
All right. Oh, it's not bad. What kind of dog is it?
Cattle dog.
What is it?
Cattle dog.
What's a cattle dog?
He's an Australian dog.
Okay, like a shepherd dog? Yeah. Anybody else own a dog? What about
Maltese.
Maltese? So tiny, come on. Anybody have good people, big one? What kind of?
Multiple.
Oh, okay, cool, that's pretty cool. Anybody else? Let's see the hand over here. What about you now? Really? That's a huge one. How big is it? Oh my god, how many pounds?
Last time we were there, she was looking or something. I don't know, 80 or 100.
Oh, it's close to 100 pounds. That's a big dog. Do you guys
She's
know?
still like young.
See that? How old is she?
I think she was 80.
Okay, that's a young dog. Do you guys know who else likes dogs?
North Koreans?
People from Korea. They love dogs. Right? They love them so much that you will never see any abandoned dog on the street. Also in Korea. It's a good country. So the reason, but they do for different reasons. Now we keep our dogs as a pet. They keep their dogs as a last resort when there's a hurricane, there's no food available. So Korea people in their cuisine they do eat dogs. And they eat a lot
We eat
of dogs.
horses.
What is it?
We eat horses.
We yeah. What is it?
But is it like that one thing, like when where they like torture the dogs and then feed them?
They fry them.
Okay, so the same with the torture. I don't know if you guys know this. We do the same thing over here. So for all the cattle we kill over here, slaughtered, before we slaughter them, we scare the hell out of them.
That's what they're told.
That's why they're tense. So the muscle is all tensed up, so the meat tastes better.
Yeah,
That's
apparently.
apparently.
So they probably do the same thing for dogs too. But the thing is, guys, I'm not saying that you will eat a dog, but just in case when you eat a dog. Imagine you're on an island, desert island, right? There's nothing else available, but you have two dogs in front of you. You have a Chihuahua.
I'll become vegetarian.
You have a people. Which one do you eat? Don't do the
It
Chihuahua.
doesn't have to be.
It's all bones, no meat on it. You go for the bigger one, right? So in Korea, they don't have any big dogs. Might because they eat them all, but they don't have any big dogs. So Korea, in 1970s, people in South Korea, they actually went to Switzerland. They want to buy the dogs from Switzerland. Because in Switzerland, they have a dog called Saint Bernard. Saint Bernard is huge and very meaty, very muscular. So they want to buy the
They're on
Saint Bernard
steroids.
to Switzerland. No, the Saint Bernard in Switzerland is like their national dog. It's like our bald-headed eagle. Everybody loves Saint Bernard in Switzerland. So in the very beginning, the Swiss, they were very happy about this. They're thinking, oh, look at this nice people from Korea. They also love our dog. And then they find out, no, it's for they're eating them. So today, between Switzerland and South Korea, there is a trade embargo on dogs. If you have a Saint Bernard in Switzerland, you want to take the dog out of the country, you're going anywhere close to Korea, you can. That dog stay in the country. But there's a trade embargo between Switzerland and Korea. Makes sense? All right. So
That's why they're reproducing themselves.
so they'll get the dogs in Korea and then breed them and then produce dogs. Yeah. All right.
Whole new market.
So our economy is called market economy. So again, it's where the decision process is decentralized between buyer and sellers. And then one of the earliest economists, this guy is called Adam Smith. So in 1776, Adam Smith wrote a book. And this book is called The Wealth of Nations. And then in this book, Adam Smith introduced a very early on concept of economics. And this concept is called invisible hand. Now, invisible hand is not some pervert who's trying to touch you. Invisible hand, invisible hand is the invisible market forces behind the economy that's pushing the market to a certain direction. Okay, so you guys just heard that the iPhone 10 is coming out in November,
Yes.
right? And then the new iPhone 10 is priced at $1,000. So imagine this. Imagine the iPhone 10 is not priced at $1,000, but iPhone 10 is priced at $10,000. Now, when that happens, Apple will produce a lot of iPhone 10s, but can people afford to buy them? No, right? So nobody buy them. So now Apple is stuck with all the iPhone 10s unsold. If you're Apple, what would you do? You lower the price, right? So you lower the price until all the iPhones are sold out. So when you lower the price, that's when the invisible market forces that's pushing the price lower for everybody. Make sense? So price too high, invisible hand push it lower. And then vice versa, if the price too low, invisible hand will push it higher. So let's imagine this iPhone 10, when it come out next month or in November, will be $10. Would you buy it?
Yes.
Yeah? Would you buy one or would you buy 7?
7.
Okay, so
Sounds great.
anybody here has 2 phones on them?
Me.
You have 2 phones?
Oh, well, my car.
Okay, but one for your
Job.
personal, one for work. Okay. Anybody have 2 phones personally? Okay, so let's do the life lesson for you, okay? If your boyfriend, girlfriend, or husband, wife carry 2 phones on them,
I'll kill them.
something's going on. Okay? Yeah, it's usually one for the wife, one for the girlfriend.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Let me show you. So if the iPhone is $10, I buy 7, one for each day of the week. Now,
I for girlfriend, I was like, okay.
it's not right. It's not, I cannot say whatever. It's not right now. My wife can listen to this. All right, so I will buy 7, and then we all want to buy the iPhone, right? So we all go to Apple Store, and then everybody want to buy 7. Do they have that many phones for everybody?
No.
They don't, right? So immediately the iPhone will be sold out. So me over here, I want to buy this iPhone for $10, but in the store it's all sold out. What can I do?
You can pay a lot more than $10 to get.
I go to where? eBay, right? Go to eBay. Go to eBay to buy the iPhone. Now on eBay, will the phone still be $10?
No.
Will be higher now,
Because
right?
yeah.
Because the demand is higher, right? So this market forces, this invisible hand, is pushing the price higher to where it should be.
Just like the shoes.
No shoes.
Jordans.
Oh yeah, Jordans. Yeah, I guess into the Jordan shoes.
Not no more, but back in the day it was like $800 or yeah.
Back in the days, I was so poor. I was just buying
Like Skechers.
Puma shoes. Yeah. So that's why you made my hand. Okay, everybody got it? Yeah. So number 7. Number 7, government can sometimes improve market outcome. Not always, but can sometimes. So the market sometimes is not efficient. Now we have something called a market failure. So a market by itself cannot reach a good outcome, we call market failure. Now let me give you an example, guys. So suppose I like to eat cheese, and I pay for my own cheese. Would that be your problem?
No.
No, right? Why is your problem? I pay for my own cheese. So I pay for my own cheese. I eat all the cheese, and then now I decide to fart in the room.
Oh,
Now would that be a problem?
Yeah.
That'll be a problem now, right? So shouldn't there be some way for me to compensate you whenever I fart in the room?
yeah.
Yeah, there should be like a fart tax,
Give
right?
me some cheese.
So this, what is it? Treasure points? All right, let me think about that. Okay. Let me see how many fart I have in this game. All right, so for this case here, government can step in. So government can step in here and actually put a tax on cheese. And then every time I buy cheese, I pay a tax for it, and then this tax will be distributed to you guys here. So now you are compensated by me eating cheese now.
Yeah.
So government can sometimes improve market outcome. And another example we have is that the first thing government can do is to enforce property right. Now whatever is yours is yours.
Also, they're gonna tax you because you're contaminating the food.
Sure. This is what iPhone 7? Wow. How many people?
One.
No. How many? What's the memory on here? 16 gig or it's not 32?
126.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Genoveva?
Genoveva? Okay. Guys, whose phone is this?
Possession is 9/10 of the law. That's
I'm
your,
asking
that's your phone.
whose phone is this? Whose phone is this? First? And why do I have it? Right? Whose phone is this? This is my phone now, right? It's my phone now. Now we need the government, right? So if I take her phone, she will call the cop on me, and then they will enforce something called a property right. So what is yours is yours. So if government cannot do anything, the one thing government can do is to enforce property rights. Now let me give you an example. So back in 2005, when U.S. military first went to Iraq, so we liberate Iraq, and then CNN went to Baghdad. So in Baghdad, there's a neighborhood. The neighborhood is all empty, everybody all left. But there was one guy, he was in his store. And then the journalist asked the store owner, says, hey, Mr. Fuenhu, why are you still here? And it's dangerous. Everybody else all left, why is he in the store? The store owner says that he was afraid that if we go away, when he come back, the store wouldn't be there anymore.
Oh.
Because there's no government who can make sure whose store is it, right? So one thing that the government can do is to enforce property right. That what is yours is yours. Make sense? All right, and then, what about this already? Oh, guys, know what's a market power? Market power is the ability for one individual to influence or set the price in the marketplace. We call this a market power. So a monopoly company has all the market power. Now, what's a monopoly? Well, you all played the game before, right? The Monopoly board game, right? So how do you win the game? That everybody else ran out of money, everybody else ran out of properties. You become the sole owner of everything. You're the monopoly. So monopoly means when there's only one company for the entire market, that's called monopoly. And when you have one company supply everything, and this one company has control over the price. You can decide whatever price that is. So we call monopoly have all the market power. Do we have any monopolies in our economy?
Yes.
We did, right? Because if you remember the history class, the Standard Oil, right, and also many of the railroad companies, the steel company, they were monopolies. The telecommunications. The last time our government broke up a monopoly was back in 1972. There was a company called AT&T. So what we did, we took our antitrust law and actually broke up the company to two smaller companies. It was AT&T, which covers the long distance service, and then we had something called a Southwestern Bell. Guys heard it before?
Yes.
Yeah, guys, if you go back to your home, if you have any those old yellow pages, on the top it's called Southwestern Bell yellow pages. So Southwestern Bell was only in charge of local service. So so every time a company becomes too big, they have too much market power, we'll break them up. Okay? And then by early 2000s, those two companies were allowed to merge back together now because market changes. I mean, this is the reason why market changes. Guys, let me ask you guys here. Who here has a landline in the house?
Not no more.
Anybody have a landline in the house? Okay. Does anybody have a long distance subscriber on your phone?
Yes.
You sure?
Yeah.
On your home phone? So every
Oh,
month you
every
pay like $20, you can call long distance.
I remember that they used to give like them cards. And
Yeah, the
pay.
card, right? So long time ago, this is probably before what you remember.
10,
Long-
220 or whatever it was.
Yeah. So long time ago, that like even in the Houston area, if you call within 713, it's free, and then they extend it to 281. So if you call 713 or 281 number, it's free. But if you call like to San Antonio, you're gonna pay per minute, right? And then if you call to other state, you're gonna pay per minute. So for most families that we have a home phone, we also have a long distance subscriber. So it's either a company called AT&T or this company called WorkCom that we have the service and they will charge us a long distance service per minute, right? Now we don't do that anymore. The reason why, because we all have this thing over here. When this first come out, so when cell phone first come out, the biggest benefit for cell phone is they can call long distance with no extra charge. That's why everybody's using it. So if you look at the rise of cell phone was also the downfall of long distance provider. That's why by the early 2000s, the company called WorkCom, they were the #2 provider for the country, went bankrupt, and the AT&T was allowed to merge back with Southwest and Bell because the market changes. Make sense? Yes.
How can we identify which companies have the market power? For
Okay.
example, you put in your example electricity and cable.
Okay.
For me, electricity.
Okay. This is how you decide how much market power the company have. It's called market share. How much share does this company have on the market will decide how much market power they have. So let's suppose you have one company who control over 90% of the market. That means every single competitor beside the company, they're not very strong. They were all very big competitors. And this big company have a lot of control over the price. So look at the market shares. If the market share is all concentrated in few companies, that's a market power. But if it's all distributed between different companies, that have very, very little market power for it. Make sense? Let me give you an example of a market that has no market power. Okay. Anybody here have a favorite brand of banana? Do you even know there are different brands of bananas out there? Yeah, there's Dole, there's Chiquita, right? Is there any other brand?
I don't know.
There's only one. There's only two I know. Okay. So imagine this. Imagine you go to a store. Let's say you go to HEB, and then there are two bananas in front of you. One is Dole, one is Chiquita. They're all same quality, so same color, same size, same freshness. The one for Dole sells for 50 cents per pound. One for Chiquita sells for $1 per pound. Which one do you buy? The 50 cents, right? So in that case over there, companies that who sell bananas, you do not have any market control. But if you set your price too high, nobody buys from you anymore. We call each company a price taker. You take what the price already set, you cannot set your own price. Yes?
That's what I do. Is, I go into stores and I put data, and we actually sell it to competitors.
Okay.
And
Like
what they
share the
do
prices?
is, yeah,
Okay.
so that's what we do.
Very good, very good, very good. Guys, another example you can think of. Does anybody have a favorite brand of toilet paper?
Slide.
What is it? Stop, okay. What is it, what you said?
I said Falcon.
Something. What's the one with the bear on it?
Charge.
Yeah, that's my favorite brand.
Like it's so cuddly. So.
Yeah, it's so cute. Now, does anybody here have a favorite brand of printer papers?
No.
That when you go buy the printer papers, let's say from office people, from Walmart, that you only buy a certain brand, you can buy other brands.
The one that's 20 cents a piece.
So whatever is cheap, right? Whatever is cheap. So guys, let's think about it, right? So we don't care about the paper we read on. We care about the paper what our ass is and so on. So is it because our ass is more important than our knowledge? No? Yeah, I hope not. I hope not. Okay. So the reason why, because in your toilet paper market, different brand, different texture, different strength, there's a difference. But for the printer market, for the printer papers, as long as it's white, it's all the same, right? So in that market, for the printer market, there is no market power. But for the toilet papers, they have market power. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right, number 8, a country's standard of living depends on its ability to produce food and service. So this is what it means. That means when we look at how poor or how rich a country is, we don't care about how much money they have. We care about how much food and service they can produce. So guys, any idea which country in the world produce the most food and service?
China.
It's not China.
Thailand. Vietnam.
It's not Vietnam. Which country in the world produce the most food and service?
Europe.
It's not confident. Any idea? Which country in the world produce the most food and service?
How is it not China?
It's not China.
How is it?
China's number 2.
Okay.
US.
You said before? Before Germany?
US.
What's your name? What's your name? David? So David, when you answer my question, do you think about it or just shut up whatever you say?
Because I said it and then everybody started shouting out. I was like,
I
okay.
know they produce more than us, but we also have like a lot of service.
David, you gotta think about it before you answer. So David,
He can play.
say it one more time. Which country produces most food and service?
Yes, it's
Okay, one more time, louder with more quiet in your voice.
United States of America.
Very good. So guys, US, we produce the most food and service by far. Now, US number 1, China number 2, Japan number 3, and Germany number 4. Now, the reason why, no, it might not feel like it, right? Because everything we have is made in China. So the reason why the US we produce the most food and service, that we produce a lot of good. You just don't see it. So for most of the big ticket items, so airplanes, trucks are made in America. Now China make all the cheap stuff for us, we'll make all the expensive parts for China. So if you ever go to China, if you ever fly with any Chinese airline, those airplanes, they're Boeing airplanes. They're made in America. Now, any idea how much it costs to buy a Boeing airplane? $300 million to buy the lowest price Boeing airplane. And how many shirts is that? That's a lot of shirts, right? So we produce all the big items, and we produce a lot of service. So providing service for our citizens. So hospitals, lawyers, educations, they're all service. So if you're adding all the production we have, all the service we have, by far, we're number 1 economy in the world. It's about $17 trillion. China is barely over $11 trillion. So by far, we're number 1. Now, so back to the point over here. When you see how poor or how rich country is, we don't care about how much money they have. We care about how much food and service we can produce for the citizens. Okay. So US number 1. Any idea which country is the richest country per person wise? US number 8. Our per person income is about $55,000. So number 8 in the world. Sorry. Oh, sorry.
Dubai.
It's not Germany. It's not Dubai. What is it? It's not Sweden. Any
Spain.
idea? It's not Canada. Well, Canada, they're doing pretty good, but not as good as US. So
I
which
mean, they
country?
have a lower income than we do.
Yeah, it's not France. It's a country right here on the map.
Africa.
That's a continent again.
Somewhere in that
The
region.
country is called Qatar. So Qatar have the highest per person income. Now, here's the thing with Qatar. So Qatar, now US, we're a big country. We have 350 million people. Qatar is a very tiny country. Now in Houston, in our surrounding area, we have over 6 million population. In Qatar, the entire country has only 3 million populations. So smaller number. And also Qatar has a lot of oil. So for all the oil revenue divided by 3 million pieces, the per person income in Qatar is about $120,000. So the country is very rich. And then they're so rich, they also have many good government benefits. And then one benefit is that if you don't work in the country, so you're a citizen of the country, but you don't have a job, then you can claim a benefit from the government. And then your monthly benefit for not working is $3,000.
Holy moly.
Sounds pretty good, right? You guys want to go over there, become
Yeah.
a citizen? Yeah, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. You have a chance.
I do.
I'm sorry.
Only if I find it in the,
You have a chance too. Okay.
only if I find it in the bathtub.
You two, I'm sorry guys, but you two in the back, you have a chance.
But what is $3,000 buying you in Qatar? Like a
Probably
sandwich?
can get you like a cheaper apartment and it gets you food and utilities paid for.
I mean,
pretty
you're
good.
basically
So-
living.
Now, the reason why that you girls have a chance and guys will have a chance, to become a citizen of Qatar, you either citizen by birth, which means your parents are both Qatar, that's a citizen by birth, or you marry into a family. So guys, you have no chance. For girls, if you marry to a guy who's from Qatar, then he's a citizen, you can also become a Qatari citizen.
Anybody in the team?
It's a good thing.
Kidding.
It's a good thing. And then also in Qatar, they have very strong family structures. That means once you marry into the family, you become part of the family, and really become part of the family. That means your husband owns you now. So everything you do must be approved by your husband. Without permission, not do anything. Okay. Now let's suppose this. Let's suppose you're very lucky.
You do it for free?
No. Let's suppose you're very lucky, and then your husband passed away. Okay. Once that happens, you can pass on to the next male member in the family.
Oh, no.
Correct. So more than often,
We're
the
good.
mom needed permission from the son to do anything because that's the next male member in the family. So you better off staying over here. Okay. Just marry somebody who's over here. All right. Guys, any idea in 2008? In 2008, which country had the most number of billionaires? What's a billionaire? What does it mean to be a billionaire? You have like $1 billion, right? So any idea in 2008?
Mexico.
It's not Mexico. Which country had the most number of billionaires?
Dubai.
Not Dubai. It's not US.
Saudi Arabia.
You can take all day, you never get it.
God dang it.
This country's over here.
Are you pointing at Qatar again?
No, Qatar is here.
I don't see the map. I can't
Yeah,
tell.
Qatar is here, the country's over here. Any idea? Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe had the most number of billionaires in 2008.
I think
No.
I've got a note in my house. It's
Yeah?
like $100 billion.
Yeah, okay,
Like I'm
so-
a billionaire in Zimbabwe.
So this is the reason why, guys, for our currency, for US dollars, our smallest bill is $1, right? In Zimbabwe, in 2008, the country was having a currency crisis. So for their smallest bill in Zimbabwe, it was $1 billion. That if you have any money, you're a billionaire. Now, does it make you rich?
No.
Imagine you go to a store, you want to buy a loaf of bread, it costs you $3 billion.
No.
And you're not rich at all, right? So here's the thing with the economy, and this goes with everything, guys. We don't care about how much money you have, because money is irrelevant. What we care about is how much stuff you have. Same thing goes over here. So we don't care about how much money the country have. We care about how much good and service country can produce. Because other quality, right? Just because you have money doesn't mean anything. And then in Zimbabwe, everybody is a billionaire, but money is worthless. You cannot buy anything. You're still poor. And then, but the thing is, in 2008, Zimbabwe was actually a very safe country, because if you carry a bag full of money, and you're walking on the street in Zimbabwe, nobody bothers you. It's worthless. But if you carry a bag full of money on 1960, in 5 minutes you're getting robbed, right? So, however, if you carry like a bag full of toilet papers in Zimbabwe, they will rob you for it. That is more valuable than the money. Okay? So money is not important.
Didn't it take like a wheelbarrow full of cash to buy a loaf of bread?
Imagine go to a store, and then when you put your card into the store, and the card is full of money, right? When you come out, you have one loaf of bread. Because money is worthless.
Basically, like they have Venezuela right now.
Venezuela? Yeah, Venezuela is going through the same thing. Yeah, the economy of Venezuela is going down. Everything first. They have a very high inflation.
Yeah.
Mexico's going up.
Yeah, Mexico, they have a similar problem, but it's not as bad as Venezuela. And then the other thing was now, guys, what's the inflation?
Inflation is very money has
No value, right? Or when the price level is going up, so the average price is getting more and more expensive, we call that inflation. Now, what do we call when the price goes down?
Deflation.
Deflation, right? So when the price goes down, it's called deflation. Now, if you look at all the inflations that we have, Zimbabwe was pretty bad back in 2008. Venezuela is very bad right now. And then in Germany in the early 1920s, before the guy with a mustache became a chancellor, in Germany, they were also having very bad inflation problem. The inflation was so bad in Germany. Now over here, we're getting our pay once every 2 weeks. In Germany at the time, people are getting paid twice per day. So you do your half-day work, and then you get your half-day pay. You have a 30-minute spending break, you buy whatever you want, and then come back to work again in the second half of the day. The reason why they have a spending break at a half-day mark is if you wait until end of the day, price is higher. And also for most people, when they go out to eat, they prefer to pay first than eat. Because if you eat and pay, price might be higher.
Oh,
That was the
so
inflation in
there's a
Germany.
variance.
It
by
goes
the
up by
hours.
the hour, right?
Where is that?
Germany in the 1920s.
They also bet their workers eat cigarettes.
Right, so yeah, because money is worthless, so just pay them when it's good.
And they pay you.
All right. The number 9 principle is that price will rise when government prints too much money. Now, money is like everything else. The more you have it, the less the valuable it becomes. So if you print too much money, there's too much money available, and the value for money goes down. And that's exactly what happened in Zimbabwe. The Zimbabwe government, they were running short on cash. So at the beginning, they were printing more money, but they couldn't keep up with all the increased prices. So government decided, we're not gonna print more money anymore. We're gonna print new money now. And then for the new money, we're just gonna add 0 behind it. So every month on the new money coming out, there are more 0 behind it. And then before you know it, in Zimbabwe, the lowest bill is $1 billion.
Is that the reason why we destroyed like the old money?
Like a US over here?
Yeah.
The reason why we destroy the old money because the same with paper bill, they're not very durable. So for our US dollars, the $1 bill, usually after about a 5-year mark, they'll destroy them because they tend to tear, and then we'll make new dollars. So we actually replace our money.
Okay, so we don't.
Yeah, we don't produce more money, but
So we
replace our
replace
money.
it.
Yeah, this is better. All right, and then guys, if you think Hong Kong, all the new money in Hong Kong is all not a paper anymore, but like plastic. It's more durable, okay? And it's also better for, it's more difficult to counterfeit. So more countries, I think Canada is working on it. Europe already have it. So many of the new currencies are all plastic now. It's hard to counterfeit. Number 10, the last one, the society in the short term, so in a short span of time, so 1 year, 2 years, there is a trade-off between inflation and unemployment. Now guys, what's unemployment?
There's no work.
Yeah, you don't work, right? So if you want to work, but you do not have a job, we call that unemployment. So in the short run, between inflation, when price goes up, and unemployment, there is an inverse relationship. And this is the reason why. So inflation, now we think inflation is bad, because that's when the price goes up. But a little inflation is a healthy inflation. So imagine 1%, 2%, anything less than 10%, that's a healthy inflation. Now what the healthy inflation does, that we're sending a signal to the companies. Says, hey company, the reason why the stuff you sell, the price is going up, because we like your stuff. Make more stuff for us. So now company hire more people, and then your unemployment goes down. So inflation, little inflation, your unemployment goes down. Now vice versa, if your price is going down, now again we call it deflation. With deflation, we're telling the company saying, hey company, the reason why that your price is going down, because we don't like your stuff, don't produce them anymore. And then what do company do? They lay off people, right? So unemployment goes up. So make sense? So between inflation and unemployment, you have an inverse relationship in the short run. When the price goes up, unemployment goes down. When the price goes down, unemployment goes up. So right now in our economy, unemployment is very, very low. And then we're afraid that we might have an inflation going on. So that's why our economy, we try to stop the printing of new money. We try to increase our interest rate and then keep our inflation at 2%. Okay. All right, everybody got it? Chapter 1?
Mm-hmm.
Next, let's talk about chapter 2. Now guys, the first part of chapter 2 is to talk about how economics is science, and talk about models, assumptions. So let's skip this part, very basic information. We're gonna start with our models. Okay, so we're gonna study 2 models in this chapter, chapter 2. The first model is called a circular flow diagram. It's a visual model of the economy. It shows you how does our money and how does our resource flow in the economy. It's a very simple model. And then guys, here's the thing, for our class, for this economic class, we're gonna study the economy, but we're gonna study economy on very watered down models. They're very simple models. that it's not a real representation of the economy. The reason why, because the economy has so many variables in it, it's very hard to break down into models. So for our class, we're going to order down to all the smaller models. And I want you to notice one term. This term is called ceteris paribus. Ceteris paribus in Latin, it means everything else equal. So nothing changes. So if I give you a problem in economics, only think about the variable change within the question. Do not think about anything outside of the picture or the box. And then so think inside the box. Right? And then really right now for you, you have a tiny box to think about. So do not think too much. Okay. So if I ask you if the price of MacBook goes up by 20%, would you buy more? Would you buy less? Well, then only think about this price of MacBook. Don't think about, I never use MacBook. Who want to buy a MacBook, right? Or don't think about, what about my girlfriend? What does she want to buy? Don't think like that. Only think about it when the price increase, what would you do? Okay, so think within the box. Make sense? Holding everything else constant. That's called ceteris paribus. This is the only Latin I'll be teaching you. Because I think it's wrong for a Chinese guy to teach you Latin. It's just not natural. And also, this is the only one I know. Okay, so ceteris paribus, holding everything else constant. All right, so for this model, we're going to have two actors. The actors that are household and firms. So two parties, household and firms. So you're the household, we're the people, and then firms are the companies. So guys, between household and firms, which one is on the demand side?
Household.
Household? Who's buying? Household? So who thinks the demand side is household? A second. Who thinks the demand side is firms? All right. Who thinks that this is too early to ask questions? Give me my drink first. All right. All right. So here's the answer. Between the household and firms, which party on the demand side? It depends on which market you're talking about. We're gonna have two marketplaces. The first market is called good and service. So this good and service market, this is like your eBay, your Walmart, HEB, where companies sell you stuff, sell you good and service. That's called a market for good and service. And then we have the market for factories and productions. So factory productions, they're the resource company need to produce good and service. That's called a factory productions. So two markets, the market for good and service, and then next is the market for factories productions. It's the market for the resource company need to produce good and service. Now guys, let's be a little racist. I know this is online, we're not trying to be racist, but let's be a little racist. So if I want to open a business, what should I do?
You said you want a racist answer?
Yeah. What should I do? What is it?
You should open a business that caters to the community that you're in.
No.
You hire for like the people that work for cheap labor.
No. What should I do? What should I do?
Research.
What is it? No, that's video. What should I do? Buffet. Chinese restaurant, right? I have to open a Chinese restaurant.
Oh.
Yeah, let's get okay. So I'm gonna open a Chinese place, and let's suppose the only thing I make is chicken fried rice. So guys, what type of resource do I need? Duh. What else?
Chinese people.
Your restaurant, your cook.
Chinese
Okay.
people.
Chinese
You
people.
need money.
Hold on. Guys, anybody here ever been to the back of a Chinese kitchen before?
There's mostly Mexicans.
Yeah, trust me, in the back of the kitchen, they don't speak Chinese, they speak Spanish.
Yeah.
They're mostly Hispanics.
I've
Okay?
seen it.
So I need laborers, I need workers. What else?
Place to build.
So location. Okay. I need money. Money. Okay. What else? What else do I need? Advertising. Okay. What else?
Oh, you need people that come in and eat.
The work, right? I need the work. The equipment, right?
Yeah.
What else do I need? There is no fish in our chicken fried rice. What else?
You need dogs.
No, not in chicken fried rice. That's dog fried rice. What else? What else? Come on, guys. Do I need utilities, electricity, right?
Yes.
And waters, right? Okay. So let's categorize everything. So first, I need raw material. Right? I need chicken, I need rice, and then I need the location, I need my equipment, I need my laborers, right? Cooks. I also need money. So let's go over everything. So for this factory production, so for factory productions is all the resource we need to produce goods and service. So there's 3 categories here. So the first category is called labor. So labor, they're my employees in the company. And guys, really, if I did run a chicken fried business, I wouldn't hire you at all. You guys know nothing about chicken fried business. So not just labor, but also skilled labor. You need to know how to do it. Okay. So labor is number 1, and number 2 is land. Now land is more than the land you're standing on. Land is also all the natural resource that's within the land. So the chicken and rice, that's land. Your electricity is land. Water is land. So all those natural resources, there are land. Okay. And then the next one is called capital. Now this capital here, this is your physical capital. So it's the equipment, the buildings, they're your physical capital. Now what is not on here is your financial capital. So money is not a factor of production. And this is the reason why. Have you guys had chicken fries before?
Yes.
Let's say who had chicken fries before? Who never had it before? So everybody had it before, right? So remember last time you had it? When you were chewing on your chicken fried rice, did this ever happen to you? Wow, what the hell is this? $1. $1 ever happened to you before?
Yes.
Yeah? There was $1 bill in your chicken fried rice?
No.
No, right? Was there any quarters in your chicken fried rice?
No.
So there was no money in the chicken fried rice, right? So money is not factor production. And the reason why is because companies don't need money. They need what money can buy, right? Money can buy your land, money can buy your labor, money can buy your capital. That's what the company needs. So money and then any type of financial capital, they're not factor productions. So factor production only 3 categories. So land, labor, and capital, which is building and machines used to produce goods and service. Make sense? All right, so let's look at our model here. So 2 parties, household and firms. And then let's go over each market. So for our market for factor productions, remember this is all the resource we have. So all the resource market. So for this market, your household will supply the land, labor, and capital. Because we are the labor, right? We own all the land, we own all the capitals. We supply that, and then companies will buy the factor productions. Once they buy it, they will pay for it with wage, rent, and profit, and then we call this our income. So that's where the income comes from. We sell our labor and service, and then company pay for it, and that's our income. Now, that's your market for factor productions, and then the market for goods and service on top. That once we have our income, what do we do with it? We spend it to buy stuff we want, right? So we're gonna go to our goods and service market. So your Walmart, HEB, your Best Buy, or if you're my wife, Newman Marcus. Okay. By the way, that's where all my money goes to Newman Marcus. It's direct deposit to Newman Marcus. Okay. So goods and service, you spend the money over there, and then company collect the money. They call it their revenue. Once they have the revenue, they will sell the goods and service, and we buy the goods and service. The GS stands for goods and service. Okay, so that's how the money flows in the economy, and that's how the resource flows in the economy. Now notice the yellow lines, the outer layer, that's how money flows in the economy. The inner layer, the red line, shows you how resource flow in the economy. Okay. So remember this depends on which market. Your demand and supply different. Let's switch. Okay, so make sure you know which market to talk about. So in the market for factor productions, household supply, firm demand. And then in the market for goods and service, household demand, firm supply. So just switch. Make sense? Yeah. All right, and then that's our first model. Now let's look at our second model. The second model is called a production possibility frontier. Now the key word here is the possibility. So this model doesn't show you what you're producing. It shows you what you can produce. What is the possibility you can produce? So what's the potential? So for this model, it shows you the combinations of goods and service the country can produce with a limit, with given your available resource and available technology. So given what you have right now, your available resource technology, how much of a good and service can produce at different combinations? That's your production possibility frontier. Now, for this model, it's a very simple model. We're assuming the country can only produce 2 goods. Okay, so no more than two, only two good. And then between these two good, there's a trade-off. The more of one good you're producing, the less of other good you produce. So it's always trade-off over here, and it's also your opportunity cost. So for this example here, we're going to produce computers and wheat. If you watch Family Guy, this will be computers and wheat. Okay. So yeah, so you guys watch the South Park?
Yes.
Yeah. Now guys, do this for me. So if you can, watch as much South Park as possible. The South Park is actually very educational. Yes, and a lot of economic concept is explained in South Park. And then you're gonna learn about our last recession. There is a episode called Margaret Wheel that actually explains very good how our economy works. Okay, so watch South Park. All right, so two good computers and wheat, and then they will share one common resource. And this resource is here. The share is labor, and labor is measured in labor hours. Now, guys, when you go to a dealership to fix a car, you know how to fix a car, and then once you finish, they give you a receipt, have all the breakdown on it, right? So how much the cost of part is, and how much the cost of labor. So like a 5.5 hours of labor hour, and then every hour, like they will charge like $100 per labor hour. So that's what it means. So what you do, take how many labors you have, so your workers, times each hour each worker works, that's your labor hour. Okay. So for this economy, in 1 month, we have a total of 50,000 labor hour, and that's the maximum. We cannot go over it. Has to be below this. So maximum 50,000 labor hour. You got it? Yeah. All right. So let's look at different combinations. So for every computer, it would take 100 hours. For every tons of wheat, it would take 10 labor hours. So for our first combination, if we're spending 50,000 hours on computer and 0 hour on wheat, how many computers can we produce?
500.
500? How do you get 500?
I divided 50,000 by 100.
Very good, right? So we're going to spend 50,000 hours on computer, and then every computer is 100 hours. So 50,000 divided by 100, so our computer is 500. And then for wheat, you don't spend any time on it. You don't have any wheat, right? So 0 wheat. All right, so for the second combination, for B over here, how many computers are we going to have? 400. How many wheat?
1,000.
1,000, right? So it's a 10,000 hours, 10 hours each, right? So 10,000 divided by 10, you can have 1,000 hours, 1,000 wheat, right? And then same thing for this one will be 250, 2,500, and then 100 and 4,000, and the last one is 0 and 5,000 wheat. So this is a different combinations of food and service can produce. And then with this information, we can draw our production possibility from here. Okay, so to draw the PPF, it's a very simple two-dimensional graph, so X and Y. So it doesn't matter which one you put on X and Y. So let's suppose we put wheat on the vertical axis, and then we'll put computers on the horizontal axis. And then we're going to put the 5 points in there. Okay, so we have 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. Then we're going to have 100 computers, 200 computers, 300, 400, and 500. So for our first combination, we have 500 computers and 0 wheat. So this is our point A. And then second combination is 1,000 wheat and 400 computers. That's point B. And then 2,500, 250, that's point C. 4,100, point D. The last one, 5,000 and 0, that's point E. So all the points on the graph over here, and then connect all the points we have. Should be a straight line. Okay. This is our PPF, production possibility function. Okay, so basically just get all the combination you have on the graph, connect all the points, and that's your PPF. Okay, so this PPF here, it has some special properties. Let me show you the one. Okay, so for this PPF, it has some special property. So first thing it has, what is the opportunity cost between different combinations? Remember, opportunity cost is what you give up. It's not about how much you gain, it's always about what you give up for it. So guys, between this point A and this point B here, if I go from point A to point B, what is my opportunity cost? You guys see it? So at point A, I have 0 week. At point B, I have 1,000 week. So go from point A to point B, I gain 1,000 week. But opportunity cost is not about how much you gain. It's about how much you give up, right? So what do we give up? So at point A, we have 500 computers. At point B, we have 400 computers, right? So we lose 100 computers, and that is your opportunity cost. Make sense? So between 2 points, what is the opportunity cost? Is what you give up for it. You don't give up anything, you have no opportunity cost. Make sense? All right, and then the second point, the second property this slide has, that this graph also shows you what is possible and what is not possible. So for this economy, is it possible to produce 500 computers and 5,000 weeks? Is it possible?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, let's take a look. Let's take a look. So for 500 computers, every computer will cost you 100 hours. So 500 computers, it will cost you 50,000 labor hour. And then for 5,000 weeks, every week costs you 10 hours. So for 5,000 weeks, that's another 50,000 labor hour. So together for this combination, we need a total of 100,000 labor hour. Do we have 100,000 labor hour?
No.
We don't, right? So if you graph this point on the graph over here, you see this dot outside, this point here, that is your 505,000. Now you see that point is outside of a PPF. So for any point that's outside of PPF, we call them impossible, because we don't have enough resource to produce at the point that's outside of PPF. Now, let's do another one. So is it possible for this economy to produce 100 computers and 1,000 weeks?
Yes.
Yeah, let's take a look. Okay, so for 100 computers, every computer is 100 hours. So 100 computers will be 10,000 labor hour. And then for every week is 10 hours. So 1,000 weeks, that's another 10,000 labor hour, right? So together, this is 20,000 labor hour. Now, if you find this 101,000, that's a point right here on the graph over here, right? So this point, you see how that is inside of the line, right? So this point, we call it possible. But however, we have 50,000 labor hours.
So you're losing.
We're not losing, but we're not using them, right? So if we have 50,000 hours, but this production only requires 20,000 hours, then what do we do with the other 30,000 hours? They're left unused. So this point over here, and any point that's inside of the curve, we call them inefficient. But for those points that even though we can produce them, but we are not using all the resources we have. So we call them inefficient when they're inside the line. Okay. Now on the line, let me go back to the slide before. So guys, for combination A, how many labor hour is that? For combination A, 50,000. What about combination B? 50,000, and then for all the combinations, they're all 50,000 hours, right? So for any point that's on the line here, they're all 50,000 labor hours. So for any points on the line, they're possible, and we're using everything we have. So we call the points on the line, we call them efficient, because we're using everything we have. Okay, so 3 different points over here. When you see a point outside, they're called impossible, because we don't have enough resource to produce at the points outside. When you see a point inside, we call them inefficient, because we're not using everything we have. If you see a points on the line, we call them efficient, because we're using everything we have. Okay, so points outside called impossible, points inside called inefficient, and points on the line called efficient. Okay, so the reason why when the points outside, that means we don't have enough resource, so we call them impossible. And then when the points are inside, we have unused leftover resource, we call them inefficient. And then for the points on the line, we call them efficient, because we're using everything we have. Okay, so 3 different categories here. When the points are outside, called impossible, points inside called inefficient, and points on the line called efficient. And then guys, I promise you, you will see questions like this on the quiz and on your test. Okay, so on your quiz, if I give you a graph and give you different points on the graph over here,
So if you see the points outside, we call them impossible because we don't have enough resource. You see the points inside, we call them inefficient because we have some left unused resource. You see the points on the line, we call them efficient because we're using everything we have. Okay, so again, points outside called impossible because we don't have enough resource. Points inside called inefficient because we're not using everything we have. Points on the line called efficient because we're using everything we have. So outside impossible, inside inefficient, and on the line efficient. Okay, and I promise you, you will see questions like this on the quiz, on the test. So on the test, if I give you a graph like this, you see a point outside, that's called impossible because we don't have enough resource. You see a point inside, it's called inefficient because we're not using everything we have. You see a point on the line, it's called efficient because we're using everything we have. So points outside impossible, points inside inefficient, and then points on the line efficient. Okay, so I promise you, you will see a question like this on the quiz, on the test. So the reason why points outside are called impossible because we don't have enough resource. The reason why points inside called inefficient because we're not using everything we have. The reason why points on the line called efficient because we're using everything we have. So points outside impossible, points inside inefficient, and then points on the line efficient. Okay. So the reason why points outside called impossible. You got it? Yeah. Kind of. One more time. So reason why points outside called impossible because we don't have enough resource. Reason why points inside called inefficient because we're not using everything we have. We have leftover resource. Reason why points on the line called efficient because we're using everything we have. Okay. So outside impossible, inefficient, efficient. Okay. Guys, I do this every semester, so I already checked with my wife. So you guys have permission from my current wife. So you can dream about me. Okay, so in your dream, I will tell you. Points outside called impossible, points inside called inefficient, points online called efficient. Okay? It's a nightmare.
You mean your current wife?
No, yeah, my current wife. That's how you refer to your boyfriend, girlfriend, right? Your current boyfriend, your current girlfriend. Is that how you refer to them?
So you change wives often?
No. I'm not gonna change. I'm just saying that. I'm saying that she's my current wife. Yeah. I mean, that's a correct statement, isn't it? She's my current wife. Nothing wrong with it.
No.
Right? It's a true statement. She is my current wife.
Open statement.
How is that? No, it's not an open statement. She is my current wife.
Well, I can interpret it different ways.
All right, that's not how I interpret it. I have two cousins. That's fine. Okay, so I have two cousins. My older cousin is 2 months older than me. And then, so he married when he was very young. He was like 23 when he got married. Yeah, very young. So, and all the stupidity, he married for love. Okay? Don't ever do that. He married for love. And so he married for love. And then the problem was that he loved his first wife. His first wife loved everybody else. Okay? So yeah, so they got divorced. And then once they got divorced, my cousin met his current wife. And then her family is very rich. So this allowed my cousin to quit his job. And I went to Chicago to do a 2-year MBA with Northwestern, a very good school. Okay? And it costs a lot of money too. And then my younger cousin, is 2 months younger than me. He married when he was only 21 years old, so also very young. And then also all the stupidity, he married for love. So don't ever do that. Okay? So he married for love, and then he got divorced. So his current wife, so his new wife, her family is also very rich. Her family bought an apartment complex in Tokyo for them. So now my cousin, her cousin, now is a landlord in Tokyo, just collecting rent, easy money. See the trend in the family?
Yeah.
The first.
Did you do the same thing?
No,
Did you marry my love?
Your wife's well off, isn't she?
Well, here's the thing.
I hope
So in my family,
Share
the
with
first marriage never worked out. The second one always better, right? So
Okay.
I'm still on my first one.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
Alright.
Did you marry out for love though?
Yeah, I was stupid. Don't ever do that, okay? Don't ever do that. All right, everybody got this? Yeah, so outside impossible, inside inefficient, and online efficient.
Okay, your second wife impossible, your first one.
But not yet,
efficient,
I'm
and
still on
then-
my first one. When I'm on my second one, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Now, guys, what about the point over here? This end point, what do you call this end point?
The perfect one.
Efficient, right? So this point, even though it's on the end point, but it's still on the line, so it's still efficient. Okay. All right. Let's skip this. What do you call that? Point F.
Inefficient, right? Okay. All right, point G?
Impossible.
Okay, very good. All right, let's skip this. We're almost finished. We're gonna skip this, guys. We're gonna go over this next week. Okay. Now, one way to show economic growth. So remember what I said. Money is not important. So if your economy is growing, we don't care about how much more money you have. We care about how much more good and service you have. So if anything happening, then it causes the economy to produce more of both good. So if your PPF is shift outward, so go to from the black line to the red line, this is called economic growth. Because your economy can now potentially produce more good and service. Now, it doesn't mean the economy is actually producing more good and service. That means the economy can produce more good and service. And that's called economic growth. So any idea what kind of factors that can change the economy production and produce more good and service? What we can do?
Population growth.
Population growth, right? So every time you have more population, more number of workers, they can produce more of good and service. Very good. What else? Technology, right? So every time you have better technologies, you can also have PPF growth. So production capacity goes outward. Anything else? Better resources or more resources, right? So more land, more oil, more natural resource. Anything else? One more. More capitals, right? Remember the factor productions, your labor, land, and capital. So when those three factors are increasing, your PPF is going outward, and that's called economic growth. Now, however, there is the right kind of growth, there's a wrong kind of growth. Okay? So if you compare the countries like China and India, now China and India, they were both poor countries, but if you compare the two countries for the last 30 years, China has been growing very fast. India is now lagging behind. Now they're growing, but it's not as fast as China. Now, the reason why that is because one policy. This policy, you guys already heard it before, it's called one-child policy. So in China, that for every married couple, you're only allowed to have one kid. Now, why is that beneficial for the economy? Tell you what, you guys who is now currently in class, you're not working right now, you are a drain on the economy. So you're not producing anything for the economy. So our economy must provide housing for you. Our economy must provide education for you. Our economy must provide health service for you. So all those services providing is not contributing to the economy. So that's why the more kids a country have, now you're gonna grow in the future, but at least for now, you're not growing because all the resources go to the kids, right? So that's why if you look at the Chinese economy, that they have less number of kids in the countries. So they spend less resource to educate the kids, to housing the kids. But for India, the number of population is growing faster than China. So really in the next 10 years, India will surpass China to be the most populated country in the world. The reason why, because they don't have any population control policy in the country. Now, so for China, they're growing faster, but they have less number of kids to educate. And also for this less number of kids when they're educating, they're getting a better education. Because more resources are now focused on a smaller number of kids. So these kids now, they're highly educated, they all go to college now. They all have a college education. So now when they're in the economy, they can produce more good and service for the country. But China is having a problem too. The Chinese problem is that they have so many old people and not enough young people. So when the old people don't die, that's a problem for the economy.
And they eat healthy too. So.
Yeah, so this is a lot. So once the person's retired, when the person retires, he's not contributing anything to the economy, he's not producing anything to the economy, right? So that's a drain on the economy. So when all those old Chinese people, when they're going into retirement, and there's not enough workers to pay for it, the Chinese economy is on the verge of bankruptcy. Because their healthcare problem, their retirement problem is a huge issue for the country. They don't have enough young workers to support all the old people. Now, India is not the case because India have more young people over there, okay? So there's a right kind of growth, there's wrong kind of growth. Now, the same for India, when they have more kids, even though the economy is growing faster, but per person-wise, it's not growing as fast. But they're more slice of pie to give to everybody. So each person gets a smaller slice. Okay. Make sense? All right.
I have a question.
Yes.
How come they only have one instead of two? That way, if one dies, you won't be left over.
Okay, guys, let's do a simple math over here. All right, so
Now, when the family have 2 kids, that's the replacement ratio, right? Because you have mom and dad, and then 2 kids will replace them. So you're gonna have 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. So each generation have 2 children, and then every generation is getting replaced. But the problem is that people don't die over here. The older generation is still here, right? So your population still have a lot of people in it. So every year, when people don't die, and then more people are getting born, then the population getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, right? But if you have 1, so 1 person have 2 parents, right? And then this also 2 parents. So let's do, this would be 4. And then that's also 2 parents, so 8 people, right? You see how this number, it's like an upside down pyramid. It's getting smaller, 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 smaller. That's how you put a control on the population, right? You reduce number. But again, that's an upside down pyramid. That means eventually, this 1 kid, you can support everybody in the family. It's the same with China right now. Okay. Make sense? Any idea how to solve this? Immigration. When you have immigration, then when you have more immigrants come to the country, you're going to work, and then those workers will be supporting everybody else who's retired. And then that's the same case for many of the developed countries. If you look at Japan, Denmark, Sweden, those countries now they have not a population growth, but a population contraction. There's not enough newborn to replace all the old people. So for those countries, they need immigrants. When immigrants come over, they're working, they can support all the retired people in the economy. And then that's also a potential problem for our economy. And for our economy, again, people don't die, that's a problem. So every people who is in retirement, getting Social Security, getting Medicare, they need to be supported by workers who's currently working. So we need more workers. So all the policy, President Trump has against immigrants is very short-sighted. That if we don't have enough immigrants, then we cannot support all the retired people in the economy. Make sense? Or we can do this, have more kids. Okay? The more kids you have, the better economy you have. Make sense? You didn't hear that from me. Okay, you didn't hear that from me. All right.
No wonder my plan was great, having 12 kids.
Yeah. What's that TV show called? The one with the 18 kids or 20 kids?
Oh, the octopus mom?
Oh, no. Yeah, the Dugar, right? They have like 18, 20 kids. Right? So that's one way to solve the economy problem. And then also the kid and John class 8.
I thought you said China was destroying India because they didn't have kids.
For now they're doing good. But in the next 20 years, they have a huge problem they cannot solve. Yeah, so it's like a time bomb in China.
But you said immigration into China would fix that.
Oh yeah, of course.
So Indians will go to China.
So one way to get all people from India to China and the problem solved, right?
Right?
But what they're doing now, any idea what's the biggest export of North Korea?
Oil.
It's not. They import oil. They don't do this oil. What's the biggest export of North Korea? What's export? We're producing overseas and overseas, right? So what's the biggest export of North Korea? People. They export people. Right, so this is what the government does.
Do they mine coal over there?
They have coal, but China is not buying coal from them anymore, so they don't export coal anymore. So this is how the people export work in North Korea. So the workers in North Korea, they will sign a contract with North Korean government. And then once they sign the contract, so the government promised them, says, hey, worker A and worker B, every month I will send you to China, and I will pay you, let's say, $200. So they will export the worker to China. When they work in China, the company in China actually pays the Korean government, the North Korean government, but they pay them more. So they might be paying the government like $300 per month, but the worker is only getting $200. So that difference, it goes to the government.
Third-party company.
Right, so it's like a third-party government. So the government is getting all the extra revenue from exporting workers to China.
What happens if they wander off?
Their family is still in Korea.
Oh, the family dies.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta do your
Well, not die, maybe go to the prison.
Yeah.
Labor
Well, okay.
camp. Yeah.
Same difference.
Yeah, but no, they don't call it prison. They call it labor camp. Because
Yeah.
in prison, you don't have to work. In labor camp, you gotta work.
Oh,
Yeah. So there you go. All right, and now for PPF. We'll have like 7 minutes. Is everybody ready at 2:30? Finish at 2:30?
Yeah.
So most often you see the PPF is a straight line, but sometimes you might see a PPF is border outward. And the reason why is that sometimes you might have a specialized resource that's only doing one thing, but not doing other things.
Then you have a bolded shift PPF. Okay. So let me do an example here. Anybody here speak fluent Spanish? Yeah. Okay. What's your name? Just tell me. What's the that for me, please?
Genoveva,
How do you spell that?
G-A-N-O,
For G-E-N-O.
no, E,
G-A-N-E. Start from the beginning.
I.
All right. What is it one more time?
Genoveva,
G. No.
yes, perfect.
And
Gino
then,
is okay.
so Gino, and then we have me over here. Gino, you speak fluent Spanish. Gino, how good is your Chinese?
Yeah?
Do you speak Chinese?
No.
No. Okay.
French?
No, only Chinese. So suppose Gino, guys, let's say I have a company, and then for my company, all we do is translating papers. So translating from English to Spanish or English to Chinese. So for Gino, she's very good in Spanish. She can do 10 Spanish in an hour. Now, she's not good in Chinese, but we have softwares like Google Translate. You guys ever used that before?
Yes.
Okay. This is online, but let's talk about it. You know how when you're submitting papers online, we have a Dropbox, and then on the Dropbox it will check for plagiarism.
Yes.
If you plagiarize, if you copy and paste, it will catch it, right? Do you know how to get around it? This is what you do. Okay, so if you copy and paste, do this. Go to Google Translate. Okay, you want to translate your paper into let's say Spanish. Okay. Once you finish, and then translate back to English. Once you do that, that paper is fresh. It's not plagiarized anymore. So if you submit it online, it's 0% plagiarized. Okay? But here's the problem. Here's the problem. Here's a term called lost in translation. Yeah? Your paper will be lost in translation. When you read it, make no sense whatsoever. So you still get a 0 for it. Now, so let's say Gino can use the software's translate. So she can do 2 Chinese paper in an hour. Now me over here, I can do 10 Chinese paper. By the way, I took 3 years Spanish in high school. I don't remember anything. Okay? Let's say I can do 2 Spanish paper in an hour. Now, if our company, let's suppose right now, we don't have any Chinese paper. We only have Spanish paper. So between me and Gino, how many Spanish paper can we do in 1 hour? 12, right? So we can do 12 Spanish paper in 1 hour. And now how many Chinese paper can we do in 1 hour? 12. Now, let's suppose right now we have both papers to work on, both Chinese and Spanish. What should Gino work on? Spanish. What should I work on? Chinese, right? So if that's the case, then Gino does Spanish, I do Chinese, then we're going to have 10 and 10 each. So let's draw the PPF. So for the PPF, let's draw them over here. You guys see it? Yeah. So let's put Spanish on vertical axis, and then Chinese on the horizontal axis. Okay. So our first point we have 12 Spanish and 0 Chinese. So 12 Spanish and 0 Chinese. We also have a point that's 12 Chinese and 0 Spanish. And then we have another point that's 10 and 10 each. So 10 over here, 10 over here. So 3 points on the PPF. Connect all 3 points. You see how the line is bolded outward, right? And the reason why, because between me and Gino over here, we are a specialized resource. She's doing Spanish, I'm doing Chinese. That's why your PPF is bolded outward. Now, this PPF also shows one more important concept. Now, guys, let's call this point A and point B, and this is point C. So if I go from point A to point B, what is my opportunity cost? 2 Spanish paper, right? Remember, it's about what you give up. So at point A, I have 12 Spanish, and point B, I don't have 10 Spanish. So from point A to point B, I lose 2 Spanish paper. Now, how many Chinese paper do I gain? How many Chinese paper do I gain? 10, right? Because at point A, I have no Chinese paper. At point B, I have 10 Chinese paper now. So I lose 2 Spanish, but again, 10 Chinese paper. Make sense? Now, let's suppose we go from B to C. So when I go from B to C, what is my opportunity cost?
10.
10 what?
Spanish.
10 Spanish, right? So because here we have 10 Spanish paper, here we have 0 Spanish paper, so we lose, what is this? So we lose 10 Spanish paper. Now, what do we gain?
only 2 Chinese paper now, right? So 2 Chinese paper. All right, so this is what you want about this ratio something here. If you go from A to point C, so go from A to point C, you gain more Chinese paper. But the more Chinese paper you gain, the even more number of Spanish paper you give up. But for the first 2 points, we gain 10 Chinese and only lose 2 Spanish. But for the B to C, we gain 2 Chinese and lose 10 Spanish paper now. So the more Chinese you produce, the even more Spanish paper you must give up. So it's an increasing opportunity cost. The more you produce, the even more number of something you give up. That's why you have a curve of both our PPF. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're almost finished, guys. 1 minute. Almost finished. All right, so difference between microeconomics and the macroeconomics. So the first one, micro, by the way, that's 2302. So if you guys are taking the business major, you're gonna take both economics class. So for micro, 2302, we study economy on the smaller scale. So economies such as one market, one individual consumer, one business on a smaller scale, that's called a microeconomics. Now for our class, macroeconomics, 2301, we study economy on the bigger scale. So affecting the entire economy, such as your inflation, your interest rate, your unemployment rate, affecting the entire economy, we call it the macroeconomics. Okay. By the way, 2302, the microeconomics, is easier, much easier than 2301. But for you guys to it, already here.
But I have to take one.
Oh, good for you. So the next one is much easier.
Do you have 22?
Do I teach 20? On mine, just the next for spring, our schedule hasn't set yet. So
Okay.
usually I do a couple in the spring.
Okay, cool.
All right, so micro and macro is different. We got it. All right, last one is different between a positive statement and a normative statement. So positive statement is any statement based on facts and numbers. That's a positive. Normative is based on personal belief and personal opinions. Okay. Javier, how tall are you? 6'3". Okay. So guys, Javier is 6'3". I'm 6'7". So I'm taller than him, right? So what? I'm not 6'7".
No. I don't know.
No, that hurts over here. All right, guys. No, okay. If you never heard this, there are different type of 6'7s. There's a tall 6'7. I'm a short 6'7. Okay. But this case here, if I'm saying that I'm taller than Javier, can we measure this? Yeah, it's based on numbers. Okay, we can verify it. So that's a positive statement. Okay. Now, if I tell you guys, so if I ask a question, guys, between me and Javier, who is more handsome? Before I answer, think carefully. You need my class for this semester. Now, that is based on personal belief. Okay? Because you believe he's more handsome, or if I'm more handsome, that's your personal belief. That's a normative statement. So in economics, we try to stick with our positive and then stay away from normative. Because normative statement they tend to change. Right? Your opinion of stuff always changes. If you don't believe me, think back 8 or 9 years ago. So back in 2010, 2009. Okay. Remember in those years, you might be still in elementary school, middle school. Many of you remember how cool Justin Bieber was back then? Yeah? No. Okay. Many of you, yes. Okay. What happened? Right? The guy is still an asshole. What happened? It's because our opinion of him changed. Right? And remember Miley Cyrus, remember how normal she was back then?
Yeah.
What happened, right? Because our opinion of her
Inflation.
changed, right? That's called a normative statement. So positive based on numbers and facts, normative based on personal belief, personal opinions. Okay. All right, guys. So that's it for tonight or today. Before you go, come over here, write down your name for me, and I will get to the actual points for today. Okay. So remember, every time you come, every class you come, I will give you 3 points on your test. Okay. So this will be applied to your first test. Guys, write your name legibly. Yeah, legibly. Okay.
So what's due for this week is gonna be chapter 1 quiz
Chapter 1, chapter 2.
and chapter 2 quiz. That's it?
That's it. So every week we'll go over 2 chapters. Yes.
I think we have to
It's already online.
guys,
What is it?
Wait, a discussion post, I think?
Yeah, I gotta.
And then one is.
Yeah, so guys, for this face-to-face tutoring, what you can do, if you want to, on Monday, just do the quiz one time, and then if you have any questions on the quiz, take a screenshot or take a picture with it, and then come to class before we in class.
Is there a reason why, like, once I took the quiz, it said drop? Is there any reason?
Oh, so we dropped the lowest test rate, so right now, whatever you take, it will be dropped, but it will drop at whatever lower that. Yeah.
How
Don't
many
worry.
attempts is in the quiz?
3 attempts, 3 attempts.
If you get a lower grade on the second attempt, then you
It won't hurt you. Yeah, it won't hurt you. So, no harm done, okay?
Thank you.
No harm, see you later.
if we did a discussion post like a week ago or so, and it wasn't 300 words, we're just
Yeah,
going.
for the first one, I'm looking at it myself, but for the second one, I gotta do it.
Okay.
Discussion post, if it wasn't 300 words.
For this one, it's okay. Yeah, but for next one, I'm gonna do 300.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Okay, for some reason, my like Google Docs name is speech 1305 because I had to make my like YouTube account for
Okay.
that class, and
Okay.
sometimes like for some reason it made my name wrong. I just want you to know I can't figure out how to change it, but
Oh,
just
that's
so that
fine,
when I
that's fine.
watch your like lectures,
Just make
for
sure
the
to leave her
extra
name in
point.
the comment. This is the tutoring session.
Oh, these.
So if you guys know already, if you have any questions, if it's also a tutoring session, send email to me, and I'll always connect on email, and I'll also use a handout to connect. And then again, try to do the quiz like Monday before the class. I know it's like a first day of the week, right? But try to do it just once. And then if there's any problem, you just don't know how to do it, bring it to class or don't bring it to class.
Oh.
Okay. So for next week, for this week, chapter 1 and 2 is pretty simple. For chapters 3 and 4, they are very, very, very difficult. Okay, so they have a lot of problems with it. So we're gonna do it for next week. When we're probably just gonna spend a little time on lecture, but more time going over the questions on the quiz. Okay.
What was the about me post doing previously, or is it open somewhere because I can't find it?
Really?
Maybe you can show me because.
Yeah, sure.
No
So,
problems.
so once you go to your okay, so once you go to the class, all right, so go to content. And then see the looking modules. Go to the looking module, and then go to which one? Right here.
Okay, so we comment?
Oh, okay. Just click on it and then leave your post in there, and then you
Oh,
can
okay.
okay.
I'm a little bit confused on the example that you wrote. So why is it that we
Let me shout out this one first.
Yeah, no problem.
Right.
Like, why is it that we lose more up here, but then lose less here?
So at this point, we have 12 Spanish and 0 Chinese, right? If you go from point A to point B, that means one person must switch to doing Chinese now, right? So in this case, at here at point A, between me and Gino, we're both doing Spanish. Now, if we go from point B, Gino still do Spanish, but I do Chinese now, right? So if I do Chinese, I will lose 2 Spanish, but I will gain 10 Chinese. So this is like the most efficient point, right? But if we still want more Chinese paper, what do? We'll have Gino, she will switch from doing Spanish to Chinese. But she's not very efficient in Chinese paper, right? So when she switches, she will only gain 2 Chinese, but she will lose 10 Spanish. That's why it's inefficient. Okay, that's why the cost of Chinese paper is increasing as the more and more Chinese produce.
Makes more sense.
Go play with it, and then you can work
From
on
the
it.
beer and the mountain bike.
Yeah. So I'm working
The
on it.
papers confuse me.
Yeah. Guys, ready? Have any questions? Send me email or find me on Hangout, and I'll always do a FaceTime. Okay.
I have a question that I'm not related. Well, it's related to the class when I'm.
Okay. What is it?
I would like to know when is the first test.
I was
Oh,
gonna
the
ask
first test. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's
Because
probably
it's not on.
it's not on there yet. So and then if you click on the test, there's nothing there. Right? So the first test will probably be the 4th week.
Which is what?
So this is the 1st week, right? So it'll probably be. Let me see.
How many questions are there in the test?
It's 40 or 50. But it's almost multiple choice. Okay. Guys, the best way to study for the test is go over your own business.
And on the chapter you have 100 in the first attempt.
Oh, that's
Should I take the
Do more,
second and
yeah,
third?
do more, because the more you do, the more question you see, the more practice you do.
Oh.
And then wouldn't hurt you anyway. So for the first test, it will be the week of October 16th. So it's 2 weeks from now.
And it's gonna be 1 week to do it?
The entire week, the entire week.
Oh, so the quizzes are based on the chapter 1 and 2. But I haven't got my book, so.
Oh, don't worry. I mean, if you haven't got the book, I mean, what we talk about so far is pretty sufficient. You should be able to do the quiz.
I just looking for certain
Yeah, but again, try to know why the answer
No,
is that.
I mean, I did one on chapter 3 because it was so difficult. but
Chapter
it's-
3 is hard.
Yeah, because it's
Chapter
difficult.
3 is
And let me tell you, the first time I got 40. And I was like, oh my God. And then I do it again and I get 80.
Okay.
But one problem, I look into Whisper
Okay.
and now I'm trying to understand
Okay.
that.
You know what? Do this.
that,
The chapter 3 quiz is not due until like after next week. So once you go home, go over the first 2 attempts you did before, and then if there's any question you don't understand, take a screenshot or even take a picture and show it to me in class on next week. We'll go over that in class.
Okay, yeah,
And then we
because
help
I have
everybody.
one that I didn't know.
Yeah,
how to do it.
for some reason, chapter 3 quiz is the most difficult
Yes,
chapter in the
it's
entire
so
book.
difficult.
And it's really,
Yeah.
there's a lot of math involved and a lot of concept and stuff.
So we are able to take as many quizzes as we want, like if we could finish it. as soon
Oh
as
yeah, finish
possible.
early. You can finish early.
Oh, okay, I thought they were
Yeah.
like not available or something.
No, the quiz, the quiz have a due date on it. So even though there's no start date, but there's a due date. So for
Yeah, for every week.
yeah, so for this week there are 2 chapters. Next week 2 chapters. So
So
do it early.
after Sunday, the
One
window
and-
for the quiz 1 and 2 is gonna be
Closed, right?
Okay.
And then the discussion will be closed too. Right, so work on
And
so
then
before
for
Monday.
next week, there's gonna be another discussion post and then the 2 quizzes.
Right.
So that's how it's gonna be every
Yeah,
week.
pretty much every week there's either 1 or 2 chapters or and then also 1 discussions.
Oh, I see, there's like the whole 10 discussions or something like that.
Yes.
You do all of them? Or?
You want to wait a little bit because remember to get a full credit you have to reply to your classmates post as
Yeah.
well. So if nobody else did the discussion and you're the only one, then you cannot reply
You
to
know what,
anybody
you
else.
can do it like in Word, like Word
Like-
document,
or I was
do it,
just-
and then
yeah.
when it's done, we just post it.
That's what I was gonna do, because it's easier for me, because it's easier for me to just do it at once, because if I take my time, either I forget or I don't do it, or,
And then the discussion is, I mean, they're all like videos you gotta watch. So it's
yeah,
not
I've
that
seen
boring.
like 5 of them, and they were
Okay.
so interesting. I
Yeah.
thought up to like where the Obama, I started watching now, but I didn't
Oh, is it
finish
the free college education?
Yeah, and then, yeah,
Anyway, it's not free.
because it's not free, of course.
All right, guys, any questions? Any other questions? No?
I'm limited because I don't have internet connection at home
Okay.
right now.
Just do it over here. Come this way. Yeah, they have computer labs over here too. And then there's also computer lab at the Kingdom campus. So go to SEC, there's computer lab in the morning.
It's hot.
So which
So
one?
in library too, like a computer.
And then
I have a computer, just I don't have internet.
No, yeah.
Just go to Chick-fil-A, right, to Starbucks.
I go to Starbucks all the time.
Yeah.
They're like, you don't buy anything. You just hear it. You just
Yeah.
get out, get out. And then I come in with the ice macchiato from
Yeah.
from McDonald's. And it's like, how much was that? $1.29 because I got a coupon on
Yeah.
it. So I got it for free.
Okay.
And then when you were talking about that 5 I was like, I'm not paying that. No, I'm not a fan of that. Yeah,
I haven't drank coffee, sorry.
I don't
Right.
drink coffee either.
So guys, no, keep coming. So for the extra points, keep coming.
Okay,
Okay.
cool.
Thank
Thank
you.
See you
you.
later.
The first discussion, I don't think I have 300 words because I didn't do
That's
the
fine.
word count.
For the first one.
I'll probably like less than it because I knew you said it, but then when I submitted it crossed my mind.
Right, don't worry about it. I mean, the first one, we won't take any points off. But for the second one, make sure it's at least 7 hours.
I think I did that one too.
Okay.
I worked ahead.
Okay, very good.
Because
Yeah, always work
first,
ahead.
I didn't log in for a long time, and then one of the quiz dates it said at first due September 8th.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, oh man, I missed it. I didn't check. And then I thought I was late on my other class too,
Uh-huh.
but she started too.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, so remember everything due on 29th. So make sure finish them. It's too early. Do it.
It says like we read one chapter for the next module.
Yeah.
But every week we're doing 2 chapters.
But
class.
sometimes one chapter, sometimes 2 chapters. So I think for chapter 3, that's so difficult. Might just be 1 chapter. And then for chapter 4, it's pretty hard too. It's only 1 chapter. By the 5 and 6, it's pretty easy to do it together for 1 week.
I think it asked the question, of how to determine the hours, but we learned it today.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to do it
Uh-huh.
when I wrote the textbook.
Okay.
So then I'm waiting to take my last one until we go over the class. I already took it twice, and I got
Chapter
the exact
3?
same score.
Chapter 3 or
I missed 2. I know there's 15 on there.
Okay.
I missed two questions, and
Oh,
it
that's
still
not
drops me to 80.
That's not bad at all.
God,
That's not
it's
bad.
the same question. Like
Yeah.
missing.
So do you know how to look at your old attempts on the quiz?
No.
Okay, so what you do, once you go to your T12 on the top, you see where it says content, there's also links.
It shows the old ones that we've taken.
Yeah.
Are we still live on the
We're live,
broadcast?
don't worry. All right, so this goes with everybody else who's watching right now, okay? So what you do, go to assessment, okay? And then go to quizzes. And this one shows you all the quizzes you're gonna take, okay? Now, my side looks different than yours. So what you wanna do is a little triangle here. Click on it. Now, when you click on it, there's one icon called submission. Go to submission, it shows you every single old attempt you have.
I didn't know that. I've been writing it down.
I know you do. So it's all in there. And then once you see it, it has all the questions with answers on it. Okay? That's the best way to study for the test. So if you can understand every question in the quiz, you'll be fine on the test.
Do you mind if you do one more of this of the PPF?
Yeah, sure.
Because so I think on one of the quizzes it asked, instead of going this way, it's just the opposite if you're going up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Inverse.
Was it chapter 3 or
Chapter 2.
chapter 2? Actually, find those questions.
I think you tutored me on it, and I'm always confused on whether how much you lose or gain.
Yeah, let's do chapter 2. Was it a graph question?
Yeah.
Is it something like this?
Yeah, I chose the wrong one. Like, the opportunity cost if you were just to switch from blankets to pillow.
Okay.
Like from K to 8.
Okay, so here, let's do this one, right? So if you, let's see if you go from H to, okay, or there's an I, okay, there's an I, right?
Yeah.
So if you go from H to I, what is the opportunity cost?
So you will have 240 pillows. You have to subtract that from 120.
Yeah, because from H to I, at H, you have 240 kilos. I is only 120, so you lose 120 kilos. If you go from I to H, it's opportunity cost.
H, 4 kilos still.
No kilos anymore.
For blankets.
Because remember, it's always what you give up, right? So you're gonna give up like
320 to 200.
So
So do I lose 120 or do I lose 200?
you lose, so you're gonna have 200, but you had 320 before, so you lose 120 left. So it's always, so compare the 2 points.
That's the part I get confused. Right? I want to pick the answer 200.
Yeah, but again, remember 200 is what you have, right? You want to see how much do you have less than before, which is 120. So compare 2 points.
So I'm just gonna look at it. Okay, be slow now. I'm not gonna hurry you.
Let me, once you go home, if you see a question like this, you don't get it, just let me know. And then we can get connected on Hangout. We can do a FaceTime.
Okay. So it's from 240 kilos, and we moved it to I up there. The answer is 120.
What's this?
It does now, yeah. Once you give up, once you're wanting to get it, you're giving up. The opportunity cost. Right? Okay. I'll get it now.
Okay. All right. All right. So have a question. Let me know. Okay.
Hello.
I'll see you next week.
You too. Whenever I say your name, I can't say it, so I say press X, and then I think of we got X-Men.
The X one. Yeah, just call me Professor X. That works. Okay. All right. See you later. All right. Let me see who else is online. Anybody else stay on? All right. See you later. Okay, we have a lot of people here. Yeah, and I need to write all this thing down. So guys, whoever is watching this live right now, if you're still here, if you're gonna watch this live with me, I will get you 3 points on your test. Now, if you cannot watch this live, if you watch this recorded session, you will get 2 points add on to your test, okay? So make sure to leave your name in the comment section. And also, if you can, leave me your course number, the little number, the 4 number after 2001, so that way I know which class you're in. Because right now we have 5 classes all watching this video right now. So, okay, so just not just leave me your name, but also leave me your course number. So that'll be easier for me to find you. Okay, and then also when you leave your name, don't just rely on your screen name. Make sure you write down your full name, full first name, last name. So let's say we have Diana T. I don't know who's Diana T over here. I have more than one Diana T in my class. So make sure to write down your full name, your full first name, last name. Okay. David Rodriguez. Tanya Marginal. Oh, else it's here. So guys, when I'm doing this live, I cannot check the comment section. So if you leave a question here, I won't be able to answer it. So what you can do, send an email to me. When I see the email after the live session, I will answer your email. Okay. But if you just leave your questions on the comments or live chat box, I just cannot see it. All right. Devin Gold. And then who is last one? Daisy. Daisy. Got it. Daisy. Lectures on the expo. First, these lectures. Okay. Oh, thank you, Michaela. Okay, let me see who else is here. We have Alex now. And then yeah, guys, for every chapter, the only thing you gotta do is the chapter quiz, okay? So only the chapter quiz is required. Mania is 2011. All right, let me see. 22, 21, Michaela. Yeah, Alex, you can email me your course number. Okay, no problem. All right, so does anybody else have any questions for me? Let me see who do I have here. I have Michaela, Blake, Diana T, David Rodriguez, Tanya, Jacob, Devin, Daisy, Pineda, Melania, and Alex. Did I miss anybody? Let me wait for a little 5 to 10 seconds. There's a delay here. Yeah, talk too much. All right, guys, if no questions, again, if you guys watching this recorded session, make sure to leave your name at the very bottom of the page. So put your name on it so I know who you are, and also make sure to put your course number next to it. So you can find the course number on your My Lone Star. So it's Econ 2001 and then whatever number after that. So it's a 4-digit number. Okay. All right, guys. So if nothing else, I will see you guys this time again next week. Okay. So have any questions, send it to me. I'll be more than happy to help you. All right, guys. Good luck. See you later. Bye-bye.